In this video, I want to share with you my favorite tool for removing those pesky, flaky burrs. What's up everyone, Matt here at The American Edge, a knife and tool sharpening business in the seacoast of New Hampshire, and host at the Guild of Professional Sharpeners, where we have courses and community to help you start and grow your own sharpening business. In this video, I want to share with you this tool made by our friends at Best Felt. And it's a tool that we've gone back and forth on a little bit, but we've iterated to a great little thing here that is essentially a piece of felt mounted on a piece of wood. It's 5 inches long, 1 inch wide. The felt is a 1/4 inch, and then there's an 1/8 of an inch of wood that it's mounted on. And it comes with Velcro stickers so that you can mount it on your workbench. And the way I have it mounted on my workbench is like this, and it is right between my 1200 grit belt and my leather belt that I finish on. Next, I'll show you where this fits into my system, but I want to just share with you the problem that this tool solves is that during the sharpening process, the first thing you must do is put up a burr. And then the step after that is to refine the edges. And what can happen there is the burr ends up going back and forth. And as you refine your grit that you're sharpening at, the burr gets kind of thin and flaky. And sometimes it's just nice to be able to remove it in a way that isn't going to be problematic. So a great way to do that is to run the edge of the knife over something, and then that pulls most of those flaky burrs off. And then any burr that you're left, you can refine on a finer grit. That's the way I work it. So there's just some advantages there, is it kind of expedites the sharpening process, and it keeps those flaky burrs from building up on my leather strop. All right, so next I'll show you how this fits into my system. I start my sharpening process on a belt on the 1x30. This is where I do any corrections, fixing the blade, and ultimately just putting up a solid burr along the whole length of the blade. Then moving down my line of sanders here, I refine that bevel, and here I'm using a 400 grit Trizac. Nice pass there, one on either side is all I end up doing here. Moving down the line some more, now on my 1200 grit Trizac, and this is again one pass either side. And now the burr that we're talking about is pretty flaky, and it's kind of just hanging on there and getting pushed back and forth. So I just take a pass down my felt strip, and then one more pass on that belt tends to send all the other little flakes flying off. And then lastly, now I have a nice edge developed. I refine that on my leather belt. And everybody loves the cut test. Here's a close-up of the burr as it comes off of the 1x30. Here's some close-ups of the burr as it is off of the 1200 grit belt. Notice the flaky kind of falls off. Here's a little bit after the blade takes a pass through the felt block. And finally, what it's like after it takes that next pass on that 1200 grit belt. All gone. The last thing I really like about this is that I use it from kind of one end to the other, and then when it gets full, I can clean it out by taking it off the bench, tapping it against the bench to get any of the loose stuff out, and then taking it to the belt grinder to expose some fresh felt. So I hope you found this video useful. Link is in the description if you'd like to add one to your own shop. I actually have a couple now, but I also take them off occasionally, and if I'm doing a bigger blade, like picture planer knife or industrial knife cutter or machete or something like that, I can just hold the blade and run this down that to clean the burrs off of those as well. So maybe get a few, but honestly, these last a long time. I'm on years, and I have years left in this, so they last a long time. And that's it. Make sure you do the things that help me out and cost you nothing, like hitting the thumbs up, subscribing to my channel, and leaving a kind comment down below. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'll see you on the next video. Yo, before you go, I just want to make sure that you know about the Guild of Professional Sharpeners. That is a community and a platform where we are teaching people how to start and to grow sharpening businesses. And if there's one thing that I've come to realize after doing this for 6 years or however long it's been, is that there is an abundance of opportunity for people to get into sharpening. I think there's room for there to be a sharpener in every town. And if there's one already near you, don't worry, because as sharpeners grow, they start to serve a different niche. So there's always room for someone to get started. It's a place I'm really amped about, and I'm really grateful that I get to help people start a business, generate their own source of revenue. The return is good. Like once we get you rolling, I set all my sharpening prices to be around $60 an hour or better, which is probably competitive with what most people are earning out there. So please consider it. There are courses, there's community, there's access to me to ask questions, and it's really awesome. So please check that out. That's at guildofsharpeners.org, and the link is in the description. And if learning more about sharpening, which is a life skill that every human really should know, and most probably don't, but starting a business and monetizing that skill is not something you're interested in, please know that I have a course on Teachable, the fundamentals of knife and tool sharpening, which I would consider to be a must learn for every human. So check that out as well, and that is in the description. Thanks very much.